What the hell are we doing here? Oh, I guess we're killing ourselves now. See, this is why I love social spaces in Destiny. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Excll Destiny video. Now today I've got something really special for you guys. So the other day for an hour, it was at 3 AM my time, so I was extremely tired and that's why I didn't get the video up sooner. It's taken a while to edit and stuff, but we got access to the farm. Yes, the social space for Destiny 2. Now I made a video a little while ago on this when IGN did an IGN First on it. I will link that in the description below, but I actually got access myself and so did a bunch of other people, so I'm gonna go over what I saw and what I found. So starting off, you spawn in at the top of the hill and you can kind of see everything right in front of you. So everyone spawned in at once, as you can see in the clip, and it was really cool seeing all 26 people, including myself, just spawn in to the social space for the first time. It was the first time that any of us were going to get to see this location. Everyone just spread out everywhere, going to see different things all at once. It was such a cool experience. So just like I said, everyone else went and looked for what they wanted to see. I went and looked for what I wanted to see, and that was the vault. So I went off and tried to find it. My friend found it. I ran straight over to him to see how much vault space that we were going to get in Destiny 2, but sadly it was blocked off. And there were also no NPCs or vendors anywhere. There wasn't even Ralph the chicken to be seen. It was kind of disappointing, but I can understand where Bungie's coming from at the same time. But if you want some idea where the NPCs are going to be located and what it's going to look like when there's actually AI in the instance, then go over and check that video from IGN. I'll put a link in the description to my video from IGN and IGN's original video in the description below, so go and check that out. Also, before we jump into the tour, I just want to let you guys know that this space is dynamic as well, so this could very well be what the farm will look like when we first get there in Destiny 2, but more vendors will come and hopefully the environment will change as well, not just with different NPCs and stuff flying around overhead, but like a physical change as well, like the buildings might get repaired or something. You can see that they're kind of ratty at the moment. But without further ado, let's jump straight onto the tour and the features of the farm that we got to see and experience. So like I said, as soon as you spawn in at the top of the hill, and you will see two larger buildings. The one on the right is the hangar, and the one on the left is the farmhouse. So starting with the farmhouse, this looks to be the place where the bounty tracker could be, or someone that gives you quests or tasks. If you head inside the building, then you'll see all these kind of computers and maps and stuff like that that kind of seem more of like a place where someone would be for quests. Now this could be where the Vanguard will end up being, who knows, but I'm kind of guessing towards the bounty tracker or something like that. Also leading on from this room, you can go down into the garage of the house, where it looks to be that Amanda Holiday could be, or some type of Sparrow vendor or something like that. And just down further in front of the house on the outside, you're going to be able to see the place where the postmaster will be. Also, a little secret kind of thing that might get opened up later, there were two doors that were blocked off to the majority of the house. So we got access to a smaller section of the house, but you could see that the house was much larger than what we could actually go into. And there were two doors to get in there, but the doors were open, but there was an invisible wall blocking them off. So if you weren't meant to go in there at all, the doors would be shut, obviously, but since there was an invisible wall, this obviously means that we're going to get to go in there in the final build of the game. Now if we head across from the house, there is the large barn, which has been turned into a hangar. And before we go inside, I just want to point out that if you head around to the right side of the barn, there is a basement door hatch, and this is open, but once you head down there, it's blocked off with an invisible wall and everything is dark. But we found out if you pulled out your ghost, it lights up a little tiny bit, and also when the firecrackers and fireworks and stuff like that go off when the soccer goal is scored, then you'll be able to see in there a little bit better as well. But from the looks of things, the room looks unfinished and still in development, but people are already speculating what could be down there, and people are saying factions, maybe a new hunter lounge, or even a spot for Xur to hang out. But now entering the hangar, there is plenty to explore in here. This is a pretty big little area, and there's a few levels to go up and down as well. And looking around, you can clearly see that some places are where vendors are going to be set up and hanging out. For instance, the bottom floor to the left looks to be where the gunsmiths will hang out, and if you go all the way up the back on the bottom floor, there also looks like another vendor could be there. It could be like the Vanguard vendor, or maybe Amanda Holiday, who knows. Another little thing to point out is that there are these other stalls that look like they could change dynamically and maybe add new things into it as the story progresses, and maybe new NPCs will show up. And in the IGN video that I mentioned earlier, they did say that things will come and go through the hangar space. But moving on up to the next level, there is a little outcrop, and it looks to be where Hawthorne will be, guessing that this character that I'm showing on screen now is actually Hawthorne, because we can see that that character is standing in this location. And going up the next set of stairs next to this little area, once again, you will see that there is another little outcrop overhang that looks like someone could be standing there overseeing the majority of the farm. Maybe the Vanguard will end up being up here, who knows. I think it's a little bit out of the way and a little bit of a ways to get there if so. Now, coming out of the hangar and off to the left, you will see a little area with Shax's Red Jacks, and they're being fixed up after the battle from Homecoming. You can see that they're getting destroyed and dismantled and stuff like that. But this is the force of Crucible bots that Shax has behind him, and this leads me to believe that this is the area that Shax will be in the farm, or even the Crucible Quartermaster. Now, if you turn to the left from that, you're going to see this bridge, and if you head over the bridge, you're going to find the soccer field with functioning goals. So when the ball gets hit out of bounds, it will despawn and then respawn up the top in the middle of the field, and it will drop down. And when a goal is scored, the goals will light up, and a score will be added to the back of the net, and you will see these little light bars, and once it gets to 3, the large fireworks are going to go off, signaling that you have won the game. And right down past the soccer field, there is a gate that's open, and instead of it being an invisible wall blocking you off, it's a soft kill barrier. So maybe this might open up and extend the farm out a little more later in the game, or maybe it's just blocked off to us now, or I could be completely wrong and this is just actually what it's like and it is a soft kill barrier. Also, while we're here, I'd like to point out the nice little skybox with the Shard of the Traveler that you will be able to actually go to in the European Dead Zone Patrol. But moving on right away from there, you will find a water wheel which you can actually climb and get inside of it and run around like a little hamster, or even run on top of it if you want to recreate that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean 2 Dead Man's Chest. And you can use this to get on the roof of the Cryptarch, which I'll show you later. And underneath is a little tunnel that you can run through, but other than that, it's nothing special. There isn't anything leading off it or anything like that. And heading around the side of this, or through the tunnel, you're going to find yourself back in the middle where there is a large area with a fountain located in it. And here is where we will find a lot of familiar things from Destiny 1. So first off, we will find the vault, and like I said in the beginning, there were 2 vaults there, but we couldn't access them, so yeah, not really sure in that vault space question just yet. And across the fountain from the vault, you're going to find that house with the water wheel on the back of it, and this is where Tyra Khan will be located. Now, she is the returning Cryptarch from Destiny 1, she was at the Iron Temple in the Rise of Iron expansion, and we can also see that the Cryptarch logo is just in there as well, signifying this. And a fun little thing to point out is that you could actually jump inside the house behind, and you could do this by jumping through the little sheet that's covering up a window. Now, the sheet wasn't like a hard surface, you could pass through it and the window was open, so you could get in the house. Now, sadly, I don't have the footage for this because it was brought to my attention after I'd already left the farm after the hour was over. But moving on to the left of this Cryptarch house, we will find ourselves the return of microtransactions. So yes, Eververse is back in this nice little tent, so it's pretty good to see that they can afford a luxurious tent with all the silver that we've spent on them in D1. But a fun little thing to point out is that you can actually see that they have the little treasure boxes there sitting on the table. But once again, moving away from that, if we head around the other side of the house, we will be able to see what looks to be where Dead Orbit will be hanging out, because there were so many Dead Orbit boxes here. But that was the only faction that we could really find. You couldn't really see any new Monarchy boxes or Future War Cult boxes. you could only really see dead orbit. And if you push further on beyond the dead orbit little area, you'll see that there's a little fire pit that people can sit down and hang out while they're waiting for those last raid members to get their butts ready. And also even further beyond that, there's a little pier which goes out into the water, and this is where the clip from the video at the beginning was located. So that's pretty much it, but before we go, I would like to show you guys another little secret kind of thing. You can actually get on the roofs of these houses and the hangars, and they're connected by these cables, and you can run along the cables to get from the hangar to the house back to the Cryptarch one. Now there's a few little ways to get up. We didn't find one to get immediately up onto the hangar, but we found a way to get up onto the house, and you can use the water wheel to get up onto the little house where Tyra Khan is. And there was even this little wire that ran from the hangar up to this big pole that you could run up, and it was kind of weird because we kind of looked up and saw all these people just standing in the sky, and we were like, what the hell? So I tried to get up there. I got as high as I could, but then I fell off. But yeah, that's a fun little thing to do when the farm actually does come out in the final game. But with that, it brings us to the end of the video. So if I missed anything, be sure to put it in the comment section below and let me know what you think of the farm as well. I'll be sure to head down there and discuss it with you guys too. Also, if you did enjoy the video, then it would be really appreciated if you left a like and a favorite, or even shared the video around. And if you want to go that little extra mile, then you can even hit that red subscribe button, and you can click that little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. That will send you guys a notification every time I upload a new video. But I've been rambling on for too long now, so I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Guardians.